Has anyone ever wondered why, in our modern society, long term relationships are not functioning as well as they used to?
Well, perhaps the answer lies in how modern our society truly is.
As a general public, everyone has access to social media or dating sites.
These apps make it easier for people in committed relationships to be unfaithful to their significant others. With a hookup app like Tinder,
These acts of infidelity can cause distrust and breaks relationships down, leading to divorce and more millennials electing to be single rather than to even attempt a relationship.
But when couples are committed, they are plagued with social media's skewed outlook on love, creating unhealthy and faulty expectations.
Monogamous relationships are difficult to maintain in present day. Our facilitated access to temptation and our skewed views on romanticism have created a toxic mindset that damages committed relationships. Dating apps were created to increase the chances of meeting someone special.
not everyone likes the club or bar scene. Everyone has had a terrible story about a blind date their friend has set them up with. With the accessibility of social media in the form of dating apps, meeting strangers is easier and more comfortable than ever before.
Users can have full conversations without the worry of embarrassment with planned and premeditated messages.
Being able to just text or slide in the DMs or type out a quick Facebook message makes people a lot more confident in having a conversation.
Talking to someone when you don't have to see them face to face and worry about how you look or the gestures you're making takes no effort at all. And now, when we're going out on dates with these people for the first time, we forget how to interact.
There are countless dating sites where these impersonal conversations begin every day.
According to surveys and data collected by a top dating site called eHarmony, 40% of Americans have used some form of online site dating.
And 53% of those people lie in some form on their dating profile.
Whether someone be lying about their age or their occupation, the fact that lies are so easy to pass off in profiles makes e-dating even harder, as the facts you were supposed to know before meeting someone may not even be true.
So the easy aspect of online dating becomes even harder.
A survey conducted by eHarmony in 2015 states that 20% of people in committed relationships met online, while only 7% of marriages resulted in those relationships for that year.
While 63% of married couples say that they met their partner through a friend.
So meeting in person would seem to have a greater effect on long-lasting relationships.
But for some, these odds are too much to handle, which brings us to our next topic, how millennials are electing to be single.
More millennials, born 1981 to 1996, than ever before are single and are choosing to stay single.
59% of millennials to be exact, and there are many reasons that they choose to stay this way. This generation saw an increasing rate of divorce in their parents, and with all of the deceit that can be passed off online, it's reasonable for them to be skeptical of relationships.
More people are choosing to be in open relationships in order to not be tied down to a single person or idea of commitment.
According to Tinder's information, they have 25 million users.
And according to a research survey conducted by Business Insider, only 57% of those 25 million Tinder users are truly single, while the remaining 43 are either married or in a committed relationship.
For example, my friend has a committed relationship with her boyfriend of 3 years, but has a Tinder profile for her to find women for him to sleep with so that he'll stay with her.
How progressive.
Often relationships break down because one partner is unfaithful. We all know cheating is horrible, it ruins lives and destroys families. It's possibly one of the most morally hurtful things someone can do to their partner.
Nearly two-thirds of participants studied in a survey from the Journal of Youth and Adolescence had experienced some kind of sexual betrayal. And in other surveys, such as those reported in the Journal of Couple and Relationship Therapy, 55% of married women and 65% of married men report being unfaithful at some point in their marriage.
Traditional marriage has been on a downward trajectory for generations, and with millennials, it seems to be exponentially failing.
According to a report released last month by the Pew Research Center, 25% of millennials are likely to never be married.
These numbers are expected to increase in the future with polygamy increasing.
Despite a growing number of singles in the millennial generation, they're taking time to find themselves more than any other generation before.
Divorce rates are the lowest among this generation, with 814,000 divorces occurring each year over all the generations. Because millennials are taking the time to be single and find who they are apart from other people. Their marriages tend to be more successful and last longer.
More millennials are choosing education over relationships. Pew Research Center says that 40% of 25 to 29-year-olds who are employed are educated with at least a bachelor's degree.
But they're not just educated. Millennials are also traveling.
According to Airbnb's November report, millennials are projected to be 75% of all consumers and travelers by 2025.
60% of all guests who have booked on Airbnb are millennials, and the number of millennials who have booked on Airbnb has risen 120% in the last year.
While millennials aren't going steady, they've explored different aspects of life while furthering their education and experiencing new cultures.
What happened to living in the moment?
Nowadays, you can look around at any given restaurant to find couples invested in their phones rather than their partners.
It's an epidemic that creates distorted relationship views and poisons most to the bitter end.
Easily accessible temptations and wasted opportunities with significant others creates the alarming single rates among millennials.
Next time you're in this situation, look at those around you and decide to be connected to life rather than the internet.
How are you betting yourself apart from other people?